Hi, one of the things I found strange in the play was at the beginning of scene 4 when Dionysus was helping Pentheus turn in or disguise himself as a woman, and I got the sense that Pentheus liked dressing up as a woman, so I thought that was kind of strange, and also the fact that Pentheus entrusted Dionysus to dress him up as a woman when just a couple scenes before he was going to throwing him in jail. Two values that I found in this play were the tradition of honoring the gods, and I found that pretty relevant in the beginning, particularly when Cadmus and Tiresias are talking, and Cadmus says, "I'm not the only one to look down on gods. I'm human." And then Tiresias replies, we don't try to be clever with the gods. Our traditions, which are old as time itself, came from our forefathers. And I think that's really them saying that, we need to honor our gods with our traditions, and if we don't, they're going to take their revenge on us. And I think they really tried to get that point across to Pentheus, but he didn't take it. So I identify that theme with particularly Cadmus and Tiresias and the Bacchae. And I think it really could be said for pretty much all, Greek people at that time, because they really did try to honor their gods, except for Pentheus. Also, religion is a big theme. Of course, Dionysus came over, to try to spread the Bacchic religion, and, that created some tension between him and Pentheus. Also, I think the Bacchae play a big part in this theme because, they are, spreading this religion by their dancing. They're practicing, that's a better word, this religion by their dancing. And again, that creates tension, and I relate this to the groups of, the Bacchae and particularly Dionysus. Also, my question that I had, a word that I kept circling throughout the book is theoresis, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but when I looked it up, it was a staff or a spear tipped with an ornament like pine cone that Dionysus and his followers carry. And I thought that was really interesting because I kept on seeing it appear, and I think it just really showed how Dionysus was gathering all these followers and his influence. He really was spreading, he really was that's how kind of he let people know that he was a god. How people were honoring him. Let me just turn the page. Also, so the question of a diversity comes into play. So I think Pentheus saw the women as trouble. They were outrageous. That he thought that they shouldn't be, practicing this religion. He wanted to he threw some of them in jail. And I think this comes to light near line 780. And he says, this outrageous behavior of the Bacchae is catching on like wildfire already. And then he also says, near line 670, but for every horror you tell me about the Bacchae, so he thinks they're trouble, they're outrageous, they're just like a whore, so he doesn't like them. But also I think other people think that the Bacchae are like such as Cadmus. I think that he thinks they're not crazy because they're just honoring their god. And I think in light of Pentheus's view, the status of Greek women, Greek society, the status of them were kind of lower than men. Like, they weren't taken as seriously. Like, their views were disregarded, kind of. But I guess, in light of, Cadmus's view, they could be seen as brave because they're kind of going against, like, the current. Even though Pentheus, who is their king, doesn't want them to, they still are. For question number 5, I think Elvis is on the cover because of his dancing. When his dancing first came out, it was very controversial, and I think that is linked to the book because of the Bacchae's dancing, and it was very controversial also. So, yeah. Question number 6. Two of my questions that I have for my fellow classmates are, Cadmus worshipped Dionysus, but Dionysus still exiled Cadmus. Do you think this is too harsh of a punishment? Because Cadmus worshipped him still, but he still got exiled. Yep. Okay. So, and then when Agave killed her son Pentheus, why do you think she saw him as a bull? Why not another animal like a snake or maybe like a lamb? Like why a bull? And that's all I have. Thanks.